Not only am I drinking more water, and I told Chris Demm I'm going to the bathroom after this segment. This has been a second bathroom.
You just went like 30 minutes ago.
Oh, you're going to flood yourself again, man. This is not good.
This is not good.
I'm not going overboard. I'm just going to
You've urinated twice. Well, the show isn't even 90 minutes old.
Right. Yes, and I never do that. But today I'll tell you something else I'm doing. And my friend, I just started this yesterday. A friend of mine told me he's doing it, and it makes him feel so much better. He was reading on some health guru's website.
A guru?
Yeah. And I think Biggie should do this. Makes you feel so much better. I already feel better. The guru recommends that you breathe deeply 30 times in a row, as deep as you can breathe, and let the air out 30 times in a row. Then wait another 30 seconds. Do it a second time. Wait 30 seconds. Do it a third time. So you're doing 90 deep breaths in and out. It's like a deep breathing exercise. Expand your lungs as much as you can. And then when you're done with that, hold your breath as long as you possibly can and let it go. And do it day after day. Now, let me tell you this. I just heard about this over the weekend. So yesterday I thought, all right, I'll give it a shot. Let's see what happens. So I did all the breathing. Now it takes probably 8 or 10 minutes. I mean, you're breathing in and out.
At normal pace?
Yeah, I hear some.
What's up your nose?
It's bad. It's bad.
So are you over exaggerating inhale and exhale?
Yeah, I go. I mean, real deep breaths. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like meditation, but it's breathing exercise.
But for pores.
Yeah, it's for the pores. The rich can meditate. The pores will just breathe. We'll just breathe. Okay. So this guy that I know, he's a pickle pal. He told me he had been doing this for 3 weeks. And so after you do the 90 breaths, you hold your breath as long as you can. The first time he did it, he held his breath for 45 seconds, and then he had to let go. Now he's been doing it 3 weeks in a row, and he's at 2 minutes and 15 seconds that he can hold his breath. And it's like, because it's like expanding his lungs. Well, I didn't believe it for a second. I mean, I was like, come on. I mean, that's
wild.
Okay, I've done it 2 days. The first day, I held my breath for 1 minute and 9 seconds. I got the stopwatch out. I held my breath for 1 minute and 9 seconds. This morning, I did it. Second day, I held my breath for 1:43. Just like that. And I didn't look at the stopwatch, and when I didn't feel any kind of like I have to let go of my breath, and I looked down and it was already at 110. I was like, oh my God, I've already passed it. It's like,
and you can do this. You have to do this breath thing just once a day.
Yeah, three rounds.
Yeah,
once a day. But it takes the whole thing 8 minutes, to get it done.
Yeah,
he said he does it as soon as he wakes up. He's like in the bed and he's relaxed, and and it's like, okay, all right.
And then what's the end goal?
What happens is, and I looked it up online, lowers blood pressure, reduces anxiety, reduces stress, strengthens lungs. Then the holding your breath long, that does make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you expand your lungs 90 times a day, and then all of a sudden,
I can't recall where I read this, but I think that's what people used to do when they would free dive, or
oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, divers. They would do some variation on that exact same technique, so they could hold their breath.
Right. Yeah.
Like pearl divers in Japan.
Yeah. Right.
In the Pacific.
So, well, that makes sense. But it's like, and he said the guru that he follows can now hold his breath almost 4 minutes, and that seems like that's
great. Now you got another goal.
Really,
you're going to pass out.
Well, that's possible. Well, I might do it. I'll start doing it on the way to work, because I got about a 12-minute.
You're going to hold your breath and pass out. Behind the wheel.
On the way to work.
You're going to drive into that movie theater. You're going to be at the scene like, he didn't even break.
Yeah, pretty sharp curve right there.
Yeah.
Local boob takes out movie theater.
Yeah.
How? Holding breath.
Yeah.
What?
Was he autoerotic asphyxiation? Oh, yeah. Were his pants down? Clearly.
Wouldn't that be the worst to go in that way? Yeah, he's doing this is disgusting, Chief. He's doing some sort of autoerotic asphyxiation.
Get the press out of here.
I've often thought to myself, people who have died that way, do you think your last thought is, oh God, this is
how I'm going to be found.
This is how they're going to find me. And then it's just.
Oh, man. I don't know. That would be. This guy, there's a guy, this is about breathing also. He's, his name is Connor Wilton, and he has apparently his dad found him collapsed on the floor in November of 2022 because he had gotten into a habit. He was addicted to breathing in helium from helium balloons. He would do, they said, 500 helium laughing gas balloons in a day.
500?
500 at his peak.
Does he just buy the tanks?
Wouldn't you think? Yeah, I guess so. He's 27.
Can anybody buy a tank of helium?
I heard there was a helium. Remember a couple of years ago there was a helium shortage.
I remember hearing the headlines.
Yeah. But now I don't hear that anymore.
I don't either.
I guess you could buy a helium tank if you wanted.
We used to have one here at the station.
Yes, for filling up balloons.
Yeah,
that's right. Because we used to do a lot of like balloon events.
We did. Those were the days.
Two guys named Chris. They really blow.
We did a lot of that. The first time I ever did that with my voice, I thought it was the most magical, incredible thing.
Oh, yeah. It blows your mind.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, when you do, I mean, have you ever done it to the point where you start to almost black out?
No.
I have. I took in a lot of helium one time when I was a kid to do that voice, and the whole world went black for a moment. And I thought, ooh.
Help. Help me, help.
Mama! No one would believe you.
My God.
Yeah.
You God, no.
That was brutal.
Remember there was a time, maybe, I'm not sure, Biggie, if you were even listening to the radio then, but morning radio, shows would do their entire, they would do 30 minutes on helium.
That's exactly
And of course, then they would have splitting headaches for hours afterwards.
Yes. Well, I do remember that one time, because I had done it many times, but then that one time, I guess I took in a whole balloon, and it was like all of a sudden, I thought I was going to pass out, which is really a weird feeling, for a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, this guy, he's 27, and he's got severe nerve damage now to the point where he's in a wheelchair most of the time. Because he used
From the helium?
Well, he used to do the equivalent of 400 to 500 in a day or a weekend, and his dad found him collapsed on the floor. And later he said... I mean, now his hands have gotten to be, he calls them like dinosaur hands, where he can't control them. They're real bendable. And I guess that's long-term effects of that. Isn't that just, I mean, that's awful. And he's, now commenting and letting his story.
With his normal voice?
His voice is always
permanently altered?
Permanently altered to helium voice. And he says, I just want people to understand.
It's very, very dangerous.
World's least effective spokesman.
That's right. He's sharing his story
Look
now.
at these hands.
Finally.
I can't do anything with these hands.
Richard, you're talking about helium. This poor man, Connor Wilton, 27, life changed forever because of the helium he sucked in. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Kelly. I was just telling Biggie that I worked at a party supply store for about 20 years in the Triad, and you were asking if you could buy those tanks. We had those tanks, small to medium to large, back anytime before COVID, and you could buy them from once they started at like I think $150 and you all the way up to $500. But I was telling Biggie now you can only rent them. We got people that rent them out, but after COVID there was that helium shortage happened for a long time, and then they quit letting us do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
A helium shortage. That was stunning. Are we? Do you know our helium levels today around the world? Are we back up to where we should be, or is it still a shortage?
No, it's still a shortage. We have meetings from time to time, and they talk about it. Yeah, they brief us a little bit on it, about a 5 or 10 minute segment on it. But it's getting back there, but it's I don't understand the ins and outs of it. When you talk about helium, it's just kind of it's kind of odd,
Really? Sure. I mean, a shortage of helium. Does that mean that I pay more now? I don't even know, because I buy helium balloons for a Super Bowl party every year. The price, I'm sure, went up.
Yes.
It went up at that time. Yeah. No, that makes sense. But I didn't buy them at that time because we couldn't have the party because of COVID. Because that's when the helium prices went way up, I guess. Thanks, Richard. Really appreciate you weighing in on that. The story, this is about somebody's voice as well. Keith Urban, I guess, was being interviewed, the country music celebrity. Is he on one of the voice shows? Or
I want to say yes. Is he on Idol now?
He may be. Biggie would know, but he's on the phone. But Keith Urban was talking about Miley Cyrus. And he said, he made a comment about Miley Cyrus's voice. And he said, I mean this completely as a compliment.
I always love Miley. I love it. That voice, man. That voice, like no one's like, she sounds like an ashtray.
Okay. Now he meant that he said, I meant that as a compliment that she sounds.
Of course. How else would anyone take it?
And guess what else, y'all? She tastes like one too. It's disgusting.
In a good way. He says he loves the graveliness of her voice. Remember, at one point, somebody compared Miley's voice to his dog.
The journey is usually the part that you remember anyways.
That's right. That's Miley. One of those was Miley. I'm not going to tell you which one.
Yes, the dog and Miley sounded suspiciously similar.
The journey is usually the part that you remember anyways.
Kiss me and I realize she probably was right. There must be 50 ways to leave your lover.
She sounds like an ashtray. If you're Miley, of course you're. Oh, thank you.
Hey, you're trending, Miley. Great. Great.
Thank you so much.
What did I say?
I sure
Said
appreciate
you
it.
sing like an ashtray. Oh, that's so nice. The journey's like that.
That's so beautiful.
The journey is usually the part that you remember anyways.
What?
And you know I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan. I just found out my wife doesn't like Flowers, the Miley Cyrus song. We were listening the other day, and it came on, and she said, I hate this song. I said, what?
Yes, it's my jam.
I love it. I love that song. I couldn't.
So what did we do? Did we compromise? We go to a different station?
She flipped. She was in charge. She's in charge, and she flipped it. And she's, but it hurt. I mean, I love Flowers from Miley Cyrus. That's one of my faves. And in fact, full disclosure, I'm a Miley fan. And
is it not country enough for your wife? Because she's kind of gone into
she's country.
world.
She is a country.
You're more pop.
I don't think she likes her voice. I don't think my wife.
Miley, period.
I don't think she likes Miley's voice. I think she likes Party in the USA.
That's much younger,
but
Miley.
It's a younger, like a cleaner sound. Exactly. This is the one I like. I like it though. Actually, the more ashtray-like she gets, the more ashes that are in the tray, the better I like her. But she's I guess she's polarizing on who likes her and who doesn't. There's another, speaking of polarizing, remember last week we were talking about the woman who, her family shares one stick of deodorant.
Oh yes. Deodorant lady.
The women in the family have one stick of deodorant, and she told her husband, you got to start
to save money.
To save money, you got to start sharing with guys. And she said they use a clinical deodorant.
Clinical strength.
Clinical strength. And a P1 listener says, and he sent an email just to me, and he said, here's a hot take for you. No one really needs that clinical deodorant or 72-hour antiperspirant. Take a shower, you dirty ass clown. I don't believe that. I think some people do.
Yeah, I think you still need deodorant. Yeah.
You need a boost?
He's saying the more expensive deodorants, again, take a shower, you dirty ass clown, is what it is. And he's like, prove me wrong. Everybody shower more often, you'd be just fine. People start to save water and this and that by not taking showers. You do hear people only taking showers less and less now. Some experts say you don't need that many showers. I'm really enjoying, I'm using bar soap for the first time in probably 20 years.
Welcome back.
Loving it. I'm
Really?
loving it. It's so great. When I had painful rectal itch, and that's weird. It's
a long arrow.
And it's back a little bit again because I'm in so many Diet Cokes. But when I had painful rectal itch, so many people suggested this bar soap and that bar soap and this ointment and that, and I bought every one of them. I had them all. Well, I had about 12 bars of soap just in my cabinet.
Name brands or kind of more esoteric
all
brands?
Different. All Dove, Ivory, and then brands you never heard of. And I just pulled out a bar of Dove soap the other day, and I did a Chris Demm type shower. He told me the way he showers, and a couple of times we've been in the shower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and he's like,
you're cleaning it wrong. Here, just let me do it. You see, it's circles, and you're going up and down.
Right. He said, just take the bar of soap, doesn't even take a washcloth in there. That's the way I'm doing it.
Just hot water in a bar.
God, and I am smelling myself all the time now. I love the way it smells. I love the Dove. It just gives me a hint of...
Is this the Dove men's or the Dove women's?
I think it's the Dove women's.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it.
It's a little more powdery.
I love it. And that's all now I'm just like, give me a bar of soap, I don't need anything else, just a bar of soap. Don't need a body wash or
Yeah,
wash
you can take a bar of soap into the ocean.
wherever I want. Yes.
Into
exactly.
a river, into a creek.
Exactly. Old school, prison style, army style, whatever you want.